Hey everyone, it's Rob from Hypop and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're unboxing and taking a closer look at the brand new Amaran F21X by Aputure. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be updated of any new content we release. Leave a like on the video if it's helped you. Feel free to leave down in the comments section below your thoughts. And if you have any questions about the Amaran F21X, follow us on socials, the links are down below, and visit our website, hypop.com.au. Let's get into it. So I have with me the brand new Amaran F21X Flex panel, or the LED light by Aputure. This is a brand new product by Aputure as part of their Amaran range here. You can see that that's their new branding for their sort of more entry to mid-level type lighting from Aputure. And they do have a few other light units as part of that range as well. So they have the P60C and the P60X, which are LED panels. They've also got the COB lights, the 60X and 60C. So this one here is a brand new addition to their kit. Now flex lights themselves aren't brand new. We have the likes of Godox and other brands that have released lights similar to this. But let's take a closer look at Aputure's addition to the market. So there we have it. This one here is the F21X carry case, and you can see it's actually quite a neat carry case. It is quite rigid too, so that means it's got some sort of shape and form to it. It's not just a soft case, which is nice because that means it'll protect the contents of the package. Now we've also got a little zip tie here that Aputure always have, so just to make sure that it's a brand new unit, it's not something, not a demo unit, and it's not a used unit. So we'll just cut this one off. And there we have it. It's a neat little package here, as you can see. It does have quite a few bits and pieces on the inside, so we'll go through those one by one now. Firstly, we have the flex light itself. So you can see here, it's a rectangle flex light. It's a flex light because it's obviously a flexible panel. You can see there are LED chips all along here, and these are what they call SMD LEDs. So these are surface mounted LEDs, and they have them on strips here. And you can tell that these are bi-color given the colors of the actual LEDs that you see here, which are yellow and sort of tungsten orange. The panel is rectangular, so in metric it's 60 centimeters by 30 centimeters, or 2 feet by 1 feet. So that's the reason why it's called the 21X, just for the measurement purposes. You can see on the back here, it also has the Amaran branding, which is like a reflective design. If you can see that in the light, it's kind of cool. Now the cables here look of high quality as expected from Aputure. Straight away I can see that it is IP67 also, which means that it is water resistant. So we'll take a closer look at that shortly. We have some metal pieces here that look like the mounting brackets because they have spigot mounts here on the end. You've also got the AC adapter here. Now first thing I've seen here is the AC adapter's already got a few sort of little nicks and sort of damage and scratches from these metal pieces because they packaged them together, so that's a little bit odd, but that's included there. It also has a V-lock mounting plate here, which means typically that you can mount it to some sort of bracket that would be on a light stand. You have a diffuser cover, which I am assuming is for this softbox here. Yep, there's the softbox. That's a softbox to fit over the flex light itself. You have some more cables here, the F21X cable, and you've also got a power lead. You have another diffuser also. You have a Velcro grid for the softbox. Got a shoulder strap for the bag. You've got the Sidus Link app manual. You've also got a few QR codes for product info and things like that now. So it looks like they are getting rid of documentation on the inside of this product here, and you can find that all online, which is useful. And we have a stand bracket here. This looks quite durable. I've seen hundreds of these stand brackets, and this one here is made from metal, has a little bit of a logo here for their branding, which is nice, and being metal, it looks quite sturdy. even though you won't really have to mount a really heavy setup because these flex lights are relatively light in weight. This is good to see that they're upgrading the components. And you have the control panel. So this is the F21X control panel, and this is where you'd be mounting and connecting up to the light firstly, and then mounting the V-lock battery there. You've also got a safety tether attached, which is nice. And lastly is the actual light mount here. So that's what you'd be using to mount the actual rectangular light across if you're wanting to mount this to a light stand or a bracket of some sort. I've separated all the components as part of the kit. So on this side over here, we have the AC power as well as the control box, and you've also got the softbox components up the top here. And then you've got the light setup parts here too. So I suggest you do this if you're setting up the light yourself. Now, once you have the metal components out here, you decide whether or not you'll be having it mounting facing forward. So if you're mounting the light that way, or if you're going to be mounting it upright, and your stand can obviously have different mounting points depending on which one you choose. So in this case, we'll just use this L bracket here, and you utilize it with the stand bracket also. So this is that metal stand bracket, and you insert the L bracket onto the main part here of the actual light, and that locks into place with this knob here, and that tilting knob there controls the actual angle and tilt of the light also. And then the bottom part here just goes to your light stand, and it's that standard 5/8 inch spigot stand. And what we'll do is tighten that onto the stand. We can turn this facing forward, and that's mounted onto the stand now. Now what you'll see is the bracket actually has a mounting point for this L bracket here, and there are grooves or sort of knurling on the bracket here, which allows you to sort of ensure the mount is secure. It has a bit of grip there, which is nice. And that just slides straight on, and then you can lock in the knob there into place, and that's what will mount the light itself. Now to mount this bracket, it is a little bit fiddly. It's almost similar to a softbox. Like, it's a relatively good design. It has hole cutouts on the inside here of the rail that allow you to snap, and you'll hear this once I do this, snap that into place there, so you know the exact position that each rail should be to be mounting onto the back of the flex light. So when we do that, you see that clicks into place. So the way that I was thinking to do this, and the easiest way, is to actually mount either end of either diagonal of the light. So for example, I'll do the top here, and then I'll fit it into the bottom insert here, similar to what I do with the softbox also. And you'll pull out each of these latches here so that it clears the rail, and then it locks in to that hole on the rail there, that laser cutout. There you go. So that one's done. And at the same time, you can angle these out and then get in the other corners of this bracket here too. So let's get into this one here, and there we go. Now make sure each of these have locked into place. Now what you'll notice is that the rail itself has a bit of give to it, because although it is metal, it's quite thin, so you will have a little bit of give to it. I'm not sure about the durability of that, because as you know, with softboxes, they have flexible rods, and those rods are usually made from fiberglass, so they're quite durable. So this here is made from metal. It is a little bit fiddly to set up, I guess, in terms of being able to ensure that you get the right angle to have these slide into place. But once it's set up, I guess you can kind of leave it this way to some degree. Also, if you're not going to be carrying it in the case all that often, you can just leave it set up this way. It is sort of relatively quick. You saw it took only a few seconds, so it's just really up to you and how quickly you can get it done. And you've got that power lead there, and this will just mount directly to that bracket we've set up. Awesome, so there we go. So there's that flex light all set up. I can just angle that a little bit better. Now, we also have the control pack here. So just to get everything up and running, firstly, you have the light connection here, and this is for the output, and it is a sort of locking mechanism that snaps into place, which is nice. So you just need to get in the correct position, and that clicks into place. You also have an extension lead here. So this one here is an extension DC cable that's 3 meters. So if you want to have the control pack further away from the light itself, you can use that additional 3 meter lead also. And now we just have the power cord, which connects to the AC adapter. So we plug that in, and we've also just got the cable here that connects to the bottom, and that's all in place now. So let's power this one up. So we now have this set up and connected to power. And what you'll notice is that V-lock mounting plate here for the AC adapter. This can actually go to the back of the control pack here. So you can have that on one neat unit and mount that to a stand. You also have a 1/4 inch thread on the side here. So if you want to mount that to a stand or any other mounting point that has a 1/4 inch screw. And you also have the super clamp mounting point here for the control pack. Now this is not included with the Amaran F21X, but they do sell this separately as a piece or a spare part that Aputure sell, and they also have them included with some of the other Aputure lights such as the C300D. So if you have those lights and you have that super clamp bracket available, then you can utilize that with this entire setup. And once this is all connected, it's really simple to use. It's just turn it on here, and you've got 2 knobs here, one that controls the intensity and one that controls the color temperature. And you also have the menu button here, which goes through a few functions, as well as the mode too, depending on which one you want to jump into. Going through the mode, you've got FX, you've just got the regular color temperature mode, and you've also got custom effects also, which is neat. And you've got trigger here as well as another button, and this trigger I'm assuming is just going to be in the effects menu. So if we've got the effects and we go into lightning, for example, we control the intensity, we can trigger the lightning there. And that's what that button's used for. So this is a physical button for trigger. Now the great thing about this light setup and a lot of Amaran's lights, including Aputure's Lightstorm range, is that they connect to their Sidus Link app. So that means you're able to do that through the app itself. If you have a mobile device or an iPad or something like that, you can connect up to the lights and control a group of lights as well as part of the studio scene that you're setting up, which is great. So you don't have to go into the control pack here and just control all of the light settings. Now just jumping back into just the regular CCT mode, when you're controlling the intensity, you can see that that's just going up. You can actually go up in 1% increments as well, from 0 to 100. I'll blast that and we'll turn that back down. And you can obviously control the color temperature. Being the X model of Aputure, X is usually their naming scheme for the Bi-Colour lights. You can control it from 2500 Kelvin all the way up to 7500 Kelvin. So you can see there you've got that white light and almost going towards the blue spectrum there, but you've got that range, which is about 5000 Kelvin from the lowest all the way up to the highest. And that means around your 5600 Kelvin would be your natural daylight. But what you'll notice with the Aputure Flex light here, the F21X, is that the lux ranges at about 1 meter or about 3000 lux, and it increases in intensity, it increases in lux rating as you go cooler in the color temperature as well. So from 2500 lux, you're at the lower end, about 3000-ish, and it goes all the way up to about, I believe it's 3300 or so lux when it goes to full output at that 7500 Kelvin. So the light itself has a CRI rating of 95 and a TLCI rating of 98. So really accurate lighting. In terms of the color temperature range, it's from 2500 Kelvin all the way up to 7500 Kelvin. So that 5000 Kelvin has a fairly big variance there if you wanted to go to those warmer tones all the way up to the cool tones. And you do have increased lux intensity at 1 meter as you go up in the color temperature range there. So you start all the way from about 3000 lux all the way up to about 3000 3,900 or almost 4,000 lux at the 7,500 Kelvin output at 100%. So it does get quite strong, and you're obviously able to control the light further with the softbox there. Now the beam angle of the LED beads is 180 degrees, and if you wanted to narrow down the light, you would use the softbox as well as that grid, so you can direct the light a little bit better too. The light itself has a 50,000 hour lifespan, and it does have 2% variance over 6,000 hours with the light itself in terms of the color temperature. So that's relatively good, considering that if you have it on for 6,000 hours continuously, that's a relatively long time, so it won't change too much in terms of your color. It does have that control with the Sidus Link app, as well as the onboard controls, and that's controlled via Bluetooth with an 80-meter range. So if you're wanting to use this on location, you have access to the V-Lock battery here, or if you have access to a mains, you can do that and have that Bluetooth control over a long distance there too. The light itself is relatively light, at weighing in at only 0.4 kilos, and the light fixture is quite heavy at about 1.2 kilos, and the AC adapter is about 700 grams. So, all in all, the light itself is good, so that means it can be mounted up on a high light stand or a boom stand, and you can have the control pack down lower, so it doesn't weigh down the light and have any risk of sort of toppling over. But the entire setup is going to be close to about 2.5 kilos or so that's just something to take note of. Now, to mount the softbox, all you need to do is fan out the softbox like so, and there's a few folds here that let you place this into shape. You'll also notice that there's a semicircle cutout here, and that's for the cable at the bottom here of the light, and it's all Velcro attachment, so it's quite easy to set up, because on the back of the light here is the other Velcro side. So all you need to do is slip it over, fold that into place there, and now you have all of the grids. So these grids are usually, one is thicker than the other. So you've got the grid here, and you can see that that's quite translucent in terms of diffusion, whereas the other grid here is a lot thicker in terms of the material too. So you can decide which one suits you. If you, obviously once you diffuse the light, you lose a bit of output there, and it just depends on what you're going to be using it for. We've got the grid on, and you just got to be mindful where to position the grid, because if you where you position the diffuser, because if you want to use the grid, you'll have to position the diffuser further back. Then you can attach the grid to the front of it here as well. There we go, so that's all mounted and set up now with the softbox. Now the entire setup, this is on a stand, this is really lightweight now, and if you have this tethered to the stand, perhaps obviously it's going to add another 2 kilos or so, but overall it's a light setup. And instead of carrying around a heavier LED panel, for example, you may want this sort of flex light here to be able to have a more portable setup, especially for things such as on location lighting, interview situations, like documentary style things with video. You can obviously use this for photography also as a continuous light if you're doing product photography, and deciding whether or not you want to use the grid as well as the softbox to further diffuse the light and direct the light a little bit more. It really is a versatile light for you to use for both film, video, and for photo. So I've got with me the Sekonic C800 here, and we can just quickly test to see the CRI ratings are all accurate. Now that's coming up as 95.9, and it's really accurate. It's obviously rated at 95, so that's right on point there. It's not going to be completely scientific because we've got a few other lights around, but it is showing up on or above that rating, which is great. And going down to the tungsten, coming up as 97.5 here. So all on point in terms of the color accuracy. So I have with me, just as a quick comparison, the Godox Flex Light here. This one here is the FL150R. Now this one is slightly different in terms of dimensions to the Amaran F21X. It's approximately 30 centimeters by 120 centimeters, so more of a strip light. Obviously with these lights you can orientate them the way that you desire. So this one here is horizontal right now, and it's easy to sort of just orientate it vertically if you want to. So if you're wanting to light head to toe, for example, that's a great thing about these flex lights. They're really versatile in terms of the mounting options. Now, having a look at the Godox product itself, you can see this light firstly has been out in the market for quite some time now. So considering this is a brand new unit, they've had a bit more time to go through things and make sure they connect up with all their new interface and whatnot. But this is the Godox light. It's more of a sort of, you know, I guess cheaper option in terms of the bag and everything itself. You can see the bag is just a soft bag here. It's not really the most durable bag. You do have the power. It looks like the mounting bracket, the power cable. You have the flexible light holder, and you've got the manual. They also have softboxes too, so if you're wanting to get a softbox for the Godox lights, they also do that. And you also have the flex light itself. Now, Godox exaggerate the flex light a little bit more by wrapping it up in a mailing tube just like this. So it really shows and emphasizes the fact that this is a flexible light. And once you open the tube, you have the light itself, and the light is wrapped up. You have the mounting point here that's all wrapped up on the inside. You have the connection leads, and these are more standard sort of the 4-pin connections that they do all lock into place, but I guess they're not as nice as the Aputure ones in terms of being IP67 and waterproof, etc. But you can see there the Godox light. It opens up, and this one's significantly larger. Godox have, I believe, 4 different styles of these flex lights with different dimensions depending on the size that you're after. They've got a smaller square shape. They've also got a large square shape. They have this rectangular strip light shape, and they also have another rectangular shape that isn't quite as wide as this one is. And you can see it's the same thing. It's surface mounted diodes for the LEDs, flexible, so you can shape and direct the light the way you want. You're able to use this mounting bracket to mount it to a stand. It also feeds through into the corners here, and the stand all looks the same. Now you have the light holder here, the metal bracket. Now, to be fair, the Godox bracket looks a little bit better quality in terms of the mounting bracket. Also is metal designed, and also has this larger handle, so you're able to sort of control and direct the light a little bit better. So that's a nice looking bracket. There's the control pack too. So the control pack allows you to mount V-lock batteries. It does have some antennas here, so you can use a physical remote control, but this does not connect up to the Godox Light app. So I believe that will just be a downside there, especially if you are controlling groups of lights or multiple lights in the setup. So it is a portable light still with the V-lock. It is remote controllable, and you do have relatively high quality components here for the setup. It is still flexible. The bag perhaps is you know, something to be left desired here. You probably want a better quality bag, but all in all, a very comparable light. So just as a comparison, what we'll do is we'll throw the prices up on screen of the Aputure lights and the Godox lights, as well as their dimensions, so you can make a better decision when you're selecting your flex light. So that was just a quick unboxing and review of the brand new Aputure Amaran F21X. They also have the larger model, which is a 2 feet by 2 feet, approximately 60 centimeters by 60 centimeters, also the F22X. So it all pretty much is the same in terms of components and accessories. They're definitely great lights in terms of portability. You have the battery operation, you've got the app control. They do have that color temperature rating. Now they also will be releasing a C version or a RGB WW version of these lights, which will be really nifty. There haven't really been too many flex lights out there that are RGB. So that'll be great in terms of the lighting effects, the custom lighting effects to be used as spill lights or fill lights in your creative lighting for photography and for video. Now for more videos just like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be updated of any new content we release. Leave a like on the video if it's helped you. Feel free to leave down in the comments section below your thoughts about the Amaran range of the F21 and 22X and C lights. follow us on socials at Hypop, and visit our website, hypop.com.au. Thanks for watching.